Liberty. The state of being free within a society from oppressive restrictions on one's way of life. This concept is exercised in many countries. The US, Canada, and England are just a few examples. However, in numerous countries and for many people, liberty is only but a dream. The fight for freedom is rarely an easy task. The journey is usually a hard-won triumph over countless obstacles.
A well-known example of a struggle for freedom comes from the second most populous country in the world, India. For over 200 years, India has been under British rule. By the mid-20th century, the Indian independence movement was coming to a roaring climax. A key role in this movement was filled by none other than Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi denounced the British rule and any violent means to fight back. He promoted a peaceful movement to let the world see how cruel the British rule was. Gandhi faced time in prison for his ideas, and his people were met with injury or even death, such as the Salt March, an act of civil disobedience, where protesters were beat down by police forces.
This type of movement is again shown by the efforts of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Like his idol, Gandhi, he led a peaceful movement for desegregation in the United States of America. In his letter from Birmingham jail, he wrote, "Seldom do I pause to answer criticism of my work and ideas." This shows that Dr. King was not deterred by jail time. It only motivated him to work harder to achieve his goals. During the Selma to Montgomery March, many marchers were beaten and sprayed with tear gas. This type of violence and countrywide movement led laws being passed desegregating America once and for all.
In the Middle East, the Egyptian Revolution started on January 25, 2011. Due to political unrest and lack of rights, the public revolted for 18 days. At the climax of this demonstration, President Hosni Mubarak stepped down from office and military government was put in place. While the government was successfully changed, over 800 people were killed and many were injured.
These movements all show the oppressed locals of a nation banding together and working hard to gain freedom and liberty in their countries. This could be summed up as hard-won liberty.
Other examples of people striving for freedom include the Russian Revolution in 1917, the Irish War of Independence in 1919, the Spanish Civil War in 1936, the Syrian Civil War in 2015, the Algerian War of Independence in 1954, the Hungarian Revolution in 1956, the Cuban Revolution in 1956, and the Guatemalan Civil War in 1960.
To gain further insight on what people think about liberty as it relates to us, we asked fellow students for their opinions.
Yes, freedom is absolutely worth fighting for. Without freedom, you don't have the right to do what you truly want, and that's a very important thing to have.
Yes. Because people should have the right to do what they want, not be conformed and told what to do.
I think freedom is worth fighting for because anything that you can't feel like you can't live without it, you should fight for it, that you shouldn't stop fighting for it.
Yes, freedom is worth fighting for.
Yes, because if you're not fighting for what you believe in and how you live, it's kind of like, why would you want to live if you're not free and not being able to do what you want?
I would say yes. From a family perspective, my mother actually was involved in World War II. She was a Navy wave supporting and training Navy flyers in Pensacola, Florida. And my father was involved in the Army as well. So freedom is worth fighting for, and I thank those who've come before me and have helped to do that.
Even in our small sample, ideas of freedom vary widely. The concept of liberty and the hard path on which it is achieved has evolved throughout our history and continues to change every day. Via past protests, riots, revolts, and revolutions, we can better understand our world and how we want to shape it. While the path of freedom is hard, it doesn't stop people from trying. Now the question is, what will freedom be like tomorrow?